Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. The state government has announced it'll provide rental assistance for the next 12 months for the residents impacted by the New Lambton landslip. From May, the Reconstruction Authority will provide funding for eligible residents to assist with alternative accommodation. The government says the funding will allow the residents to remain in alternative accommodation while Newcastle Council and the authority explore potential long-term steps for the site. The residents of 16 properties have not been able to return to their homes since the landslip in May last year. The Nationals will be holding the state government to their word, announcing hunter farmers can apply for firearm exemptions. The announcement comes after Police Minister Yasmin Catley was questioned on the matter during budget estimates. She pledged primary producers, including farmers with a genuine reason, will be entitled to own more than 10 firearms. Upper Hunter MP Dave Lazell says the reform needs to work for regional primary producers.
Of course, the restriction on the number of guns is good to see, but having an exemption where you can only apply to the commissioner instead of a broad-scale exemption is not something we want to see either. We want to make sure that if you're a primary producer, you should have a full exemption right up to that 10-gun limit.
The New South Wales Heritage Office has confirmed it's received key documentation this week to progress the long-awaited restoration of the Newcastle Post Office. Developer Dr. Jerry Schwartz has lodged the Section 60 application, which is needed before a building certificate can be issued. It comes after Newcastle Council warned the 5-year development approval is due to lapse on April 8 unless work gets underway. The Heritage Office will now fast-track the application, and Dr. Schwartz is confident all approvals will be in place by the deadline. Household gas usage is on the decline, with new data showing an increasing number of Hunter residents are making the switch to all-electric appliances. In the past 6 months, the number of households using gas has fallen by more than 11,000 homes, with electricity connections growing by 62,000, saving households around $4,000 a year. National Climate Policy Advisor Anika Reynolds says it's a cost-efficient move.
We absolutely can see a future without gas, and in fact, our regulators and governments are already planning for that future. The most efficient, cost-effective way to decarbonise our households and keep electricity and power bills low is by supporting those households to make the switch to electric alternatives and to roll out household renewables.
The Hunter is one of 4 areas across Australia to be targeted in an additional government funding round for aged care beds. The government is today announcing $115 million through the Aged Care Capital Assistance Program to rapidly increase access to residential aged care in 4 hotspots. An expression of interest process is calling for providers to put forward proposals to build and open more beds within 2 years. Hunter Workers Women's Committee will be hosting an International Women's Day rally tomorrow. Set to be held at Gregson Park, the annual march will see unions and community members gather in acknowledgement of women's achievements and struggles. Committee President Teresa Hetherington says it's a chance for the region to come together.
Here in Newcastle in particular, we have jobs for women, given women access to decent opportunities to create pathways out of poverty, to removing those restrictions that prevented them in the past from being able to take on jobs that have greater responsibility and a higher paycheck, to be able to move forward.
2NURFM Sport.
Newcastle athlete Lauren Parker will compete at this year's Winter Paralympics in Milano Cortina, making her Australia's 8th ever dual games Paralympian. She'll accomplish this feat when she lines up for her 2 events these games, the cross-country skiing and biathlon. Parker's previously won 2 gold medals and 1 silver at the Paris 2024 Summer Paralympics across 3 events. The Newcastle Falcons have announced re-signings for locals Holly Keeble and Ellie Kaluski. Keeble returns to the Falcons after a brief stint with the Waratahs Women's, while Kaluski continues to develop in her 2nd year with the club. Both signings come ahead of the Falcons' NBL 1 East opener against the North Bears on March 28 at Newcastle Basketball Stadium. And the first of 6 group events scheduled for Newcastle Racecourse this year will be held later today. Former Hunter champ Cole Crusher is the top weight for today's stakes, following an average showing at the Liverpool Cup on February 28. And the winning numbers in Powerball are 1, 5, 9, 20, 22, 23 and 34, and the Powerball is 17. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.